Hi, my name is Rodney, and I want to share with you my single best Excel tip ever. And this works well, especially when you're dealing with a lot of columns and rows, like this one has 60 columns, few rows, but you'll get the idea. The problem for me was, let's say I was using this as a checklist, and I need to go through each row and each cell to um, check off some task that I was doing in another application. Okay, so this is good. I have my row selected, so I'm going to go off to my other application, let's say Notepad. Well, there's the problem. I, I don't see the selected row anymore while I'm working in another application. Now, if I go back to it, of course, it's still selected. And I thought, well, I'll be satisfied with the cell being selected, and then I can tell where I'm at in the process. So let me go back to Notepad. Even that goes away. So I had to come up with something. And here's what I came up with. If you go to Insert, Illustrations, Shapes, and then Line, so you see my cursor change to a cross saying it's ready to draw a line. But before that, I'm going to hold down my Shift key and then draw it with my mouse. So that way it's a straight horizontal or vertical line. Okay. And we're going to make the line thicker so we could see it. I'm going to right click on the line, go to Outline, and weight and change it to about a 3. Now we can really see it. So now I can drag this around. And another tip, if you hold down the Alt key and drag it around, it kind of snaps to the cells, which is kind of nice. All right, so now I need to go do some work based on what this line is showing or what it's underlining, and the line is still there. And I can go off to my other application and work each of these cells that's, highlighted by the line. And that's great. Now you may be tempted to stop this video because that's all you needed, but it gets better. So please hang in there with me and stay till the end. It does get better. All right. One thing I recommend is when you create these shapes, you change a property on each of your shapes to this. And I'll tell you why in a second. Right click on the property, go to size and position, and under properties here, this is usually the default, but I'm going to change it to this. And because if you filter or sort or kind of do those things, sometimes these will disappear. And that's not the behavior you're probably wanting. So here's another one. Let's take a square shape. And if maybe you just want the cell and not a line. So we'll draw the square. We'll take out the body color saying no fill here, and then make the outline thicker to about a 3 again. Let's change the color to red. So now I have a shape that I can move to a cell instead of an entire line. I could move that around. Let me change the property here again to don't move, which I recommend. Now go off to my other application and start doing work again, so I can tell in the worksheet where I'm at. Now when you're done, you can delete these shapes when you're done working and marking these cells as you go along. But here's another thing you can do. If you go to Home, Find and Select, and Selection Pane, you can actually turn these off. So if I select Rectangle and click that, it's gone. But it's there again if you need it. So you just turn it back on. So I like to name these. So I'll go here and change this to red square, something memorable that I can remember. select this blue line and call it blue line. Okay. And sometimes I'll want the line to extend all the way all the columns. So what I'll do there is I'll zoom out. Let me close this for now. Until I see most of the columns or all of them, I'll hold my shift key again and just drag it to the end and drag this to the end. Zoom back in. So now I can move my line to any row, and then I can scroll and tell what row I'm on at any time, and still go back to my other application and do some work based on the selected row. One other thing I've done before is I'll go here and add a shape to this line. Like for instance, if I don't visit this Excel file very often, but when I do, I need to focus on, there's a bunch of columns, but I only need to focus on a couple of them really quickly. I'm right dragging that to make a copy, in case you're wondering. So let's say column 10 is important and maybe column 22. So now what I'll do is I'm going to group this together so they all move together. So I'm going to hold down my control key while selecting these shapes and then right click and group. So now I can move them around and have column pointers to pointers that I want to focus on when I open the file. I could immediately see what I'm wanting to focus on. Okay. And this works great with split screen. So if you, let's say you want to split it right here on this column and do split, your line stays there, column markers stay there. You can move this over, go do your work again, and there they are. All right, so far all this works on, your mobile tablets and phones. All this you can move these shapes around. What I'm about to show you, which is pretty cool to me, you won't be able to do on any mobile devices unless it's I think Windows, maybe the tablet, Windows tablet, because this is there's a little bit of programming involved here. Not much, very little, but I wanted to give credit to the person that helped me do this, but let me show you what it is first. So I'm going to get rid of these shapes. I'm going to delete that and take the views, the split off. I'm going to go back here to my selection pane and show this one and show this one. So now I've just made two shapes visible. That blue line, which has the column markers in it, and it's grouped. Now watch what happens when I click a cell anywhere in the table. It moved the line to that row, and my pointer is pointing to that cell. So now I can move it anywhere, and the shapes are keeping up with me, and I can see where I'm at any time. So I could work. Okay, I'm done with that. So I'm going to move over this row, do some work, move over here. So that is where I'm at right now. That's the what I'm using to help me work in very large spreadsheets. And here's the person that helped me write the code. And this person right here. Thank you, Hans, for your help to get me to move those shapes using some programming language called VBA, and I'll show you that now. In the Microsoft Office products, there's a programming language, if you didn't know already. It's called VBA. And the way you get to it is through this developer tab, which isn't visible by default when you install Excel. And the way you get to that is you right click on the ribbon, go to customize, and right here, this is unchecked. Go ahead and check it, and then you'll see the developer tab here. Click it and go to Visual Basic. And this is the code that you'll have to write to make that work. Very, very not much code. You click this worksheet you're on, and then to start typing this, not much to type. Basically, this says on worksheet selection change, whenever you click a cell, a change event occurs. And then here are the shapes. Remember I renamed them? Here's where they come in handy. This is how the shapes are moved, the code involved. And that's it. So just close that, and then you get this effect. Pretty cool. And so you could do the same concept in Word. Like you can create a shape and then kind of move it, and let's say you're in a long document and you wanted to bookmark something, you could draw one of these shapes and save it to where you last left off, and then open it up again and look for that shape. So there's that in every Office products, all the Office products. And here's another thing you could do. You could do images like that. So here I have the check mark. Like you could turn this one on wherever that is. Let me see where that showed up. There. X mark and check mark. So you can make copies of this, or you could just move this around. Let's say you completed that cell for processing, and you don't want to do this one. There. And let's say you want another check mark. You just right drag and copy. This is some image I got off of, like if you go to insert, I think insert and pictures online, you could do that. So there's another marker that comes in handy. And when you're all done, hide them all or bring them back. Oh. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Again, my name is Rodney, and please think about supporting this channel. Let's see, where's my key here? Go here. And like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more upcoming videos like this, where I try to take simple ideas, often perhaps overlooked, and put it together to something that could be a big impact on productivity. It was for me personally. I hope it is for you, and I hope you stay tuned. Thanks again. Send me your comments, and I'll see you next time, hopefully.